All right, good morning, America. Welcome to your no nonsense. We don't give a crap about your feelings morning show.
Hello and good night.
If there's any evidence of that, just check out the thumbnail. Oh my god! If I got to, when we start getting into this, I have a great story that got me into this topic. So everybody, this will be Steve's last show. He is a quadrillionaire after picking last week, so he just came in to say goodbye to us.
Yep.
I
didn't get much.
That's why the room is no longer green, because they're preparing to sell their house to buy a mansion.
You know, if I got rich all of a sudden, I probably wouldn't even move.
The house
Maybe I would.
It would just be greener.
It's no longer green.
So
we went. Paint that roof red.
We went. No, of course not. But we went to a foreclosed house. My brother-in-law's brother, buys and sells foreclosed houses, and we went because they need cleaned out every time. Sometimes they're really bad, and sometimes they're not so bad. This one didn't have a lot of stuff in it, but I went on this one because I know I'll get the next one. That's all. So we have free inventory. It's kind of nice. There's a few good things in there, but nothing.
Yeah, it's like free boxes. Is it really worth your time?
Good morning, Glenn. I didn't realize I had 7 friends.
Oh.
When he rents a 40-yard dumpster and fills it, there's got to be something good there. And that's the hope. We get first choice before it gets into the dumpster.
See, the interesting thing about that is you got to have an outlet. Something like that, Harlan and I could make good money pushing it local. Even stuff that people look at it and go, I'm not going to put it on eBay. You could lot up and make resale lots on an auction. That would do well.
Yeah. Also, everybody has Facebook Marketplace too. And I don't have storage area to put a lot of that stuff, but if I had to, if there was good quality stuff on a consistent basis, rent a storage unit or something, or put it over at Joe's place because he's got a barn,
or just fix the building in your backyard.
Oh, my garage?
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with my garage. It fits my Volkswagen perfectly.
Lag that's been going on for years. Amazon. See, the new I like the new game Amazon is playing now is every time your shipments are not exactly to the number you say they are, they miscount your shipments and then tell you that there's been a shipping incident. And have you agreed to that there has been a shipping incident and you understand the rule? I'm like, if you would stop picking these people up off the street and giving them $3 an hour to scan my items in, because my computer prints out 10 labels and I send 10 labels in, and you go, I had a friend who sent one in and had to argue with him for weeks because y'all scanned in a 0 on the box that weighed 37 pounds. It took him 3 weeks to get them to figure out what they had done to it on a 37-pound 0 inventory box. So, yeah, it's okay. So we can't expect Amazon. They're having the same troubles everybody else is, with employees and everything else, and so it's going to be continued. I can't imagine the turnover they have as well. How many articles you got to see on Reddit complaining about the conditions of working in the warehouses and everything else, and they track everything you do. Remember, this is the same company that if you're on their website tracks your cursor movements, and they know what you're looking at, what you're buying, where you're moving the cursor. So they also track, how many items you do per whatever, whether you go to the, what's the old joke that used to be about pooping on company time? They track your bathroom. They track everything you do when you're at work. All right. It seems like I have a go. What? You don't leave that box alone.
Sales are definitely down this year, huh?
This is my new cat. So hey to everybody, new cat. So yesterday I'm sitting in the recliner. We generally watch Jeopardy and just the three of us in the afternoon. So we're watching Jeopardy, and this thing, Phoebe's running. I grab him and hold him, and Phoebe's walking around in the middle, and Phoebe growls at him, and like a true wrestler, Frankie goes up and like so quick he goes into the armrest, and then he jumps. I mean, just all you see is like this. He goes like he goes, and he lands right on Phoebe. I'm like, this dog has no fear. He jumps from recliner to recliner. He misses every now and then, and he just turns around and looks and goes right back to whatever the hell he was doing. So I am Clark Cat. Now I'm trying to eat cardboard boxes.
What up, dog?
What do you think? What do you think, buddy? 3 o'clock night for last 3 o'clock in the morning. So he went to bed with Jacob, and we're like, Johnny and I were like, good. He won't bother us tonight. Oh no, 3:30 in the morning. I wake up to something walking across the top of me. I open my eyes with my CPAP mask on, and there's a 6-month-old dog just staring at me. I'm like, damn it, Franklin. Lay down and go to sleep. He crawls off of me and proceeds to climb right up on top of Joni and do the same thing. He's nuzzling Joni in the face.
That's awesome. You think it's funny now until she sees this video, and then she's gonna kick your ass.
She don't care.
All right, I got to get out of here.
Cheers.
The wife chipped the nail.
What constitutes an emergency in Grumpy's life? Lori chips a nail. That's now an emergency in his life.
Hey, that's a good emergency to have.
I don't think I'll be back this year, so Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's. I don't think I'm free on a Wednesday.
Merry Christmas and good night.
Hello and goodbye.
Hey, John.
See you guys.
All right.
How the hell do I get out of here?
So y'all ready for the story that started the title of the show? This is a good one. Okay, so let me preface this by Harlan and I. Imagine this: we talk and carry on. We talk reselling and stuff when we're going to yard sales. We haven't had yard sales in a few weeks. We're really just talking about what we see and some of the stuff we see in these groups that we're members of. Well, I get a call and say, "You're not going to believe this. Check out this group." And I'm not. It doesn't matter because there are a lot of these new groups. They're all the same. So somebody posted in there, and I don't remember the person's name, so none of that's important. It's just the state. You just gotta. You want to know why these people can't price. You want to know why they have no clue. You want to know why the sales are down. You want to know why. So this person, their question to the group was, why does eBay not tell you what you make on a product? And on a sale, and so the people started counting. Well, if you take 13% and you reduce, they started going through the formula. The formula is, take your sales price, subtract the fees out, subtract your shipping out, and subtract your cost of goods, and then a lot of people say, you need to subtract tax as well to get a true net, and a lot of people. The reply back from this person was absolutely legendary. Mm-hmm. What do you mean I have to subtract my cost out? If I take my cost out, I lost money. Holy crap. I mean, this is the mentality. You've got people that are, and I'm thankful for new people. It creates some lively discussion. They're not bad for the reselling game, but you got to have at least a basic knowledge of I just thought common sense, in order to figure out what you've made, that the cost of the item counts. Mm-hmm. But evidently not. Cost doesn't count, because if you add in cost, you lose money.
I blame that on the school system. Well, not getting into any sorts of rants, but they don't teach that kind of thing in school anymore.
So was it Florida that I believe it's Florida that DeSantis, the Florida legislature passed a law stating that they starting, I think, next year or the year after next, that they had to financial class. Every senior had to take a financial class. I believe that's Florida. Somebody, if I'm wrong, somebody tell me. Land Shark, I was definitely guilty of that because whenever I did the Monopoly video, these people like to had a stroke when they thought that I didn't take into account the cost of gas. That $78 for that night meant life or death, and it's as simple as people don't understand. I have a Toyota van out there. It is 99.9% driven for resale miles, for business miles, because I don't ever go anywhere hardly that I don't do something associated with this business, whether it's YouTube or reselling. So, look at a van out there with 213,000 miles. I got it when it had 14,000 miles. So I'm up to 199,000 business miles in deductions. That's a Victoria. I think it is Florida. I'm almost positive it was Florida that this putting that in. I see that. Remember, it's the powers that be don't want kids to learn this stuff because what do you do? What happens with freshmen in college and people just get out of high school? What do they get bombarded with immediately? Build your credit. Credit card applications, build your credit. And they have no idea how to deal with that kind of stuff because most of them have never. Because remember, you can't have a credit card until you're 18 because you can't enter a contract until you're 18. So you can't get one until you're 18. And so if you've had no exposure and no learnings and don't understand time value of money and that kind of stuff, that is a big victim class of being taken advantage of because of their, and it's ignorance and stupidity are different terms. They don't know any better. They are seeing what the world is doing and everything is credit this, credit that. So they're just wanting to be in the world, but they don't understand. So,
I did it when I was a college freshman. That's what I did. I took the credit cards because I had no clue. And then I defaulted and didn't make my payments, and it ripped my credit for a lot of years because I didn't have a job or a job that would support the credit that I spent. That kind of thing. It was bad.
So is that why
I bought a Macintosh Performa 6200 at Sears of all places because they sold Macs back then, and that thing was like $2,500. Well, back in the 90s, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, our first computer was a DX50 in 1995. I believe we paid $1,200 for it. It was a desktop machine, only to plug into the AOL.com. If you don't understand that sound, let's see if
we had web TV for a while after I got married.
Don't do it.
Anybody else have web TV?
All right,
I want to talk about basics. There you go.
Tell me if y'all can hear this. Oops.
You got mail. Satisfying.
Yeah. Take it on. The money's away.
Did anybody else, when Net Zero was given free internet, you got like 10 hours a month? Anybody else have like 30 email addresses so that you could get 30 hours a month or whatever? Not 30, it would be 300 hours a month.
So Timothy says Missouri has, you have to earn a half a credit in personal finance. That is, yeah, I think, what was it? 7,200 was, or what was the first speed that when it first came out? Was it 2,800?
No, 1440.
1440, then
1470, then 2,800, then 56.
Yeah, Scott, you're 100% right. When you got to 56K, boy, were you living.
Yeah.
I mean, these are the stuff that y'all didn't.
Those have 56K modems in them, but they also have Ethernet.
Silverhair Stacker, don't use the phone. It'll knock me off the internet. Get off the internet because it's killed the call waiting. Nobody can call the house because your You're on the internet. Yeah. That was the life. So I hate to be the one to tell you folks that cost is part of the profit formula. I really never I mean, I've always told people that you make money on the buy. You know, the most important thing you do is you got to buy right. If you buy right, you're always in good to do everything else. If you buy wrong, it's so much harder. You can still make money, but you're fighting uphill. And when telling people that, I assume that they understood that meant their costs come out of their profit. Evidently, evidently not. Evidently, people don't know that. So
It doesn't surprise me though. I mean, I go into some of these groups, and I'm not trying to offend anybody, but they can't spell, they can't barely read, and this is the people who are, tend to go want the easier, quicker money, and they think that eBay might be the way to do it. So they join these groups and ask these kind of questions it's abundant, especially on your local Facebook marketplace. Go look at the ads there.
Am I the only one that it just worries the shit out of that people don't understand the difference between breaks and breaks? That's the one that's the killer.
That one doesn't bother me.
You'll be in a car group and they're, wanting to know how to change their brakes. I'm like, you just eat at a different time. What the hell's wrong with y'all?
I was in a group this week that this lady, I think it was a lady, if I remember right, was asking about becoming a seller on Amazon, but her name was very American. It wasn't like she was foreign or something, but every other word in the thing was misspelled, and it was like a 3 sentences long, and I couldn't barely understand what she was asking. I'm like, you don't become an Amazon seller, because if you become an Amazon seller, you'll never there's no succeeding in there, because you don't have the basic skills to even open the store. You don't know how.
Yes, Harlan, we can go over how you find profit again. What you need to do is, when you're yard selling with friends, you need to make sure anything that looks like a good deal, you give it to your friends first.
Yeah.
That will ensure that you make profit every time.
I think that sounds good.
That works out fine.
Can't argue with that. Can't argue with that logic.
Okay, so did anybody see the news? How eBay is totally wasting your freaking time? The money that we pay these idiots, and really idiots. So they are now lobbying Congress to change the 1099 reporting laws again, because they think $600 is too little. They're afraid that they're going to have a huge exit of sellers when they get 1099s in a short 6 weeks.
They will.
And I'm sitting here waiting that day, because that moron that doesn't know to account for his cost, do you think he's planning on a 1099? You can bet your ass he's not paying on 1099.
No, and I guarantee you that these people know that they're getting a 1099 and they don't care.
They don't have a clue.
Well, some of them do. And they're like, well, do I still have to report this? I mean, just like you said, going into these groups, it's bad. That's the worst thing going on right now.
Okay, so I think I made my point clear, my perspective clear. Am I happy that the threshold was lowered from 20,000 to 600? Not really. But on the other hand, it thrills me to no end to see it there, because the moron that doesn't know to take his cost out. Do you think that guy's going to hit $20,000 in sales? No. Do you think that moron is going to pay taxes on whatever money he perceived that he made? Because, I looked at some comments of some videos that were done on this subject, and the people were in there were talking about, well, you can still do Facebook Marketplace. I do that all cash. You're still responsible for reporting this, you morons. And so, those of us who sell at a higher level and those of us who report honestly are at a disadvantage, because I pay taxes on every dollar sold, and I am competing against the ones who are just, there's a reason why I can't match your costs, because you're 30%. You can go 30% under what I can, because I've got taxes that come out at the end. It is It is just, it's absolutely infuriating.
Now you know why they hired 87,000 new IRS agents. It's for these morons that didn't think that they could, that thought they could make $20,000 a year and not report on it.
So, and this is
20,000 per platform, by the way.
a group of people who thought they did not have to report because they weren't a business.
But that's
there's a huge group of people going to get these things and quit. I mean, I've seen numbers of an exodus up to 60% of the new sellers from last year, which is
there should be a warning when you first sign up on eBay. You will have to pay taxes on this money. You know.
Yeah, I don't know what it's like.
That would drive sellers away right at the beginning, and they don't want that. eBay doesn't want that.
I don't know what it's like in other states, but in California, if you sell more than 2 items, you're technically required to get a seller permit. And like nobody knows that, but nobody does it. But
and in California, they could choose to enforce that tomorrow if they felt like it, and they will. And then they'd go hard.
But I mean, imagine you know, everybody who had a yard sale would.
Well, some towns around here require you. Yeah, some towns around here require you get a yard sale permit.
I mean, this is why politicians drive you absolutely crazy, because they stood there in front of the American people and said, "We're doing this to help us track where billionaires spend their money." And everybody goes, "Oh, that's a good idea. Let's make the rich pay more taxes." You fucking dumbasses. I mean, you can't be that ignorant that to understand that a billionaire wipes his ass with a $600 bill. Come on. You don't care. They're not, they've got an accountants for their accountants.
The thing is that just the IRS is asking them to give you a 1099 for $600 or more. But the rule has always been there that you pay taxes on $600 or more. And so it's not eBay lobbying on our behalf is bullshit. It doesn't mean anything. It's the same rules. It's just that you don't get a piece of paper.
They are up there arguing for stupid people. That's what they're doing. They're arguing.
Well, I know what people. They want people to continue not paying their taxes so they continue using the platform. That's all they want. You know, it makes sense for eBay to argue that, but it doesn't. It's not going to do any good in reality. They're just screwing the people who think they don't have to pay taxes now.
They're screwing us. Is who they're screwing. They're taking the money we pay. They're taking the money we pay them to go lobby for the dumbasses who they're trying to attract to come sell on their platform. Yep. It's just.
But it means nothing in the long run because you still got to pay the taxes, regardless if you get that paper or not. The first year I was sold on eBay, I might not have paid my taxes the correct way because I didn't know. I was under that impression too that I didn't get a 1099 and I didn't sell that much. I mean, it wasn't a big.
You know what the sad thing is all these people that are going to quit, out of all of them, and this person who made this post is probably one of them, because they're going to get the 1099, and not only did he not know that he had to subtract the cost out to get his profit. He doesn't realize it goes the other way for taxes. That cost reduces the amount you sold because you're not responsible for paying taxes on the cost. That's the double ignorant tax whammy right there.
Well, here's the thing with that guy is he probably hasn't sold $600, so he's probably safe.
Probably all right, yeah.
You know, because if he doesn't even know that the basic, that level of basics where you don't realize you got to take your cost of goods out. But I bet you there's a good majority of sellers, beginners, that don't even think of that when they're selling something. And I bet you it's rampant. I bet you.
It almost goes right up there with it. You know, I told Harlan I had a post too, but mine did not compare to the one he found. You know, someone celebrating the fact that they finally reached a milestone, that they have sold $1,000, and then you see the screenshot, and because you're thinking, well, I want $1,000. That sounds pretty decent, but it's over a 90-day period, and then in the comments they go, "It took me a year of selling to get here."
$1,000 in 90 days.
It took a year to get there.
Shit, I could wipe my ass and do that. Anybody can get there in a year. Yeah, it's not a big mile. Maybe it is a mile. Maybe they're part timers. They can't be full time. Maybe they sell 1 or 2 items a year. I don't know.
It's just,
That math don't add up.
I've listed a bunch of things that on my notes that just for people to consider that, if you can't get past the cost thing though, how am I going to explain to them what sell-through rate is? Your sell-through rate is 500%. You listed 10 items and you sold 50. Congratulations. It's you don't know. How are these? You go in these groups and they're complaining. Here's another one. This person. Here's my store. Feel free to browse through. Sales are kind of slow. If there's things in there you might like. I thought the fourth quarter was supposed to be busier than it is now, and so I'm like, okay, for shits and giggles, I'll go look and see what he's. And so the biggest thing he's selling is used shoes and used clothing and used something else. And I'm sitting here, I didn't make a comment in the group. I'm sitting here thinking, nothing says Merry Christmas like a pair of used tennis shoes. Unless you're a foot fetish person, you're going to go to grandma's house and grandma's going to go, Merry Christmas. Here's a worn out pair of Reeboks. Nothing says I love you like a worn out pair of Reeboks.
You didn't have my grandmother.
Well, I got socks.
My granddad passed away, and she thought it would be great to gather up all his toiletries and give them to me for Christmas. Seriously. And my uncle would shop up in the attic. That's where we used to have contests who got the worst thing.
Concepts such as competition, how are we going to explain competition? I had this live show. I don't know how many live shows we done in 5 years, Steve.
A few.
A couple. And, market saturation. How do I explain to this person who's selling used clothing that market is one of the more saturated ones? I've done a search on Levi Strauss in this thing. 600,000 pairs of Levi's for sale on eBay. What makes you so special that you think because it's December, yours to sell at a faster rate? Hello.
Well, for some people, fourth quarter sales are a myth because of what they're selling. I just sold a paperback book for $54.95.
So the message I got for you, for people who are watching the show and who are, people think what we do is just simple. You're just going to throw it up online and make money. You've got to give yourself a lot of credit. You're a business. Even if you're somebody like me who's basically created myself a job, I'm still in my job that I have made, that I work for myself. I have a lot of responsibility and need a lot of knowledge on business and business practices in order to function effectively over the long term. Can you get by for a year or two? You see a lot of people do that. They get by for a year or two, realize how hard it is, and they want somebody else to issue them a 1099 and pay them a paycheck. It happens. You see it all the time. But give yourself, as you're going into 2023, give yourself some credit for the vast knowledge that you have created and the wealth of information that you're using to do this. Todd, are they Black Diamond Disney? See, if they're not Black Diamond, you don't have anything.
Oh, I forgot to tell you, I did get 2 Black Diamond Disney tapes from that pick. Bambi and what's the elephant with the Dumbo? Yeah.
Do that again.
Dumbo.
Yeah,
I couldn't think of who he was there for a second. That's his ears. That's if you didn't know.
So Marcus Kidd, the hard part isn't taking pictures; it's finding the products that will actually sell. That's not really the problem. I can tell you that any item will sell. The hardest part is finding the correct price. The price that moves the product in a timely manner in order that you can make a profit.
Yep.
Every item will sell for whatever. I mean, it might not be the price you want it for.
Eventually.
The sales in the buy, man.
I mean, let's look at what I've got to ship today. eBay selling. So I'm a Jada Just Trucks 1972 Chevy Cheyenne. Paid $4.99. It was 15 plus shipping. Legend of Zelda N64, the Ocarina of Time, 28 plus shipping.
Ooh, the only Zelda game I ever really liked playing that one.
Harry Potter Granger Wizard Training 1. It was new. It was something that a listing disappeared on Amazon. It's been laying around. I found it in the building. $40 plus shipping. Picked it up at a yard sale for $5. A Dash Blue mini rice cooker. Sold for $21 plus shipping. And a Mario Kart 64, 25 plus shipping. These are.
Yeah,
You're talking about you
are selling pretty well right now.
Yeah, used video games they always sell.
When you're talking about used, there are certain used products that are going to sell better in the fourth quarter because they are gifts. Like Ocarina of Time is going to be a gift.
That will sell. I could list it anytime and it will sell. It's just been sitting in a bucket.
But they're still going to sell in the fourth quarter. Like I just sold the entire Harry Potter series of books, and that used to be really good to sell. It's come way down. But I listed it for $65 and let it sit for 8 months, and it sold because somebody's going to get that as a gift. Some used items are good. It's just used clothing. It's probably not.
So there are different gift choices that do sell. So I sold a puzzle on Amazon yesterday. Puzzles and those kind of things tend to be gifts that people give. You know, grandmas like to give puzzles and that kind of stuff. You know, I sold a Harley Davidson puzzle yesterday. I picked it up at a yard sale for $5. I got $69.99 out of it. You know, there are products that sell at different times of the year, but for the most that Harley puzzle, it's been listed for 3 months. You know, and it sells in a season where puzzles. But you know, I sold a video camera yesterday. I sell video cameras every time I list them. They sell, and it, you know, it has its box and everything, but that didn't have any effect on it. The fact that I actually got it listed was the reason why it sold.
There's certain things out there. I've been listing Olympic pins. I've had days of listing Olympic pins. They don't sell for a lot of money, but the collectors of those, they're going to buy them whatever time of year because it doesn't matter. For them, it's a commodity.
I'm looking at my Amazon.
And if you ever go to list pins, list them individually. List them I list them all for $6 plus $4 shipping. There's guys out there who will buy 10 of them at a time. They love their pins. If they don't have them, they're gonna buy them. They don't care about the shipping.
Okay, so here's something that I sell I buy them every chance I get. A 4-pack of JVC VHS tapes, $29. You know, those are not a gift. Those are not selling for. Nike men's wristbands, $23 for a pair of wristbands. That's not they're NBA wristbands. It's NBA season is going on right now. Some Memorex CDs, $25 for a spindle. These are things that the Black Klansman Blu-ray 4K used $13.97. These are not gifts. These are things that sell. The wristbands have NBA on it. They're selling because the NBA is in playing. Used media sells because it's hard to find now. And the rest of them are just toys. Toys do sell great right now. But toys sell year round. If you're waiting and piling up toys because I don't want to list them because I want to get my price and you don't put them up for sale the rest of the year, I can't help you. I can't. If I can't explain to someone that they have to subtract out their cost to get their profit, you think I can explain to them the time value of money and turnover?
Yeah.
You know, if that, God forbid, that person, whoever made that post in that group, ever tries to sell on Amazon, he might make it a month. He'll be the one that complains, why did they suspend me for verification after 4 weeks?
Yeah.
That DVD title, nah, it's a real. It's actually a real DVD. I didn't make that one up. It was in theaters. Who's in it? John David Washington is the actor. I recognize him, but I'd never seen it. It's a Spike Lee movie. It's not. It won't get taken down.
If you are selling the pins individually and you have a bunch of them, how do you get? I'm guessing he means the buyer to see your other items. I don't know. I'm just assuming they look. If you're a seller of a certain items, video games, maybe it might be that a category like that, or pins, and you have one. These guys are going to look to see if you have more because that's what they buy, and they want to buy them all in one place. I don't put anything that in my listing that says check out my other items. Maybe I should check out my other pins or something like that. You could do that though. I've seen people do it, but I have no problem with guys buying 6 or 8 pins at a time. And I'll usually, and right now I have them combined shipping, but sometimes they'll buy them individually. Why they do it that way, I don't know.
So if I ever had the chance to talk to somebody at eBay, I would tell them a more effective way to spend their time and to make sure that they don't lose sellers and that kind of stuff. Instead of bothering Congress with trying to change an arbitrary number for reporting on a 1099, how about you come up with a financial test that you have to pass in order to sell on your platform? Something simple as, a profit formula. Focus on educating your sellers versus, going for the lowest common denominator.
At least a warning in red that says you're going to have to pay taxes on this shit, or something.
Instead of going to the government and advocating they change this in order to allow more fraud to continue to happen and the playing field not be level, how about you just try to educate your people, the people before they start on your platform? You go through all this process of verifying. You only let them sell so much. You want to make sure that they're a real seller. You want to make sure, they have no clue about shipping. They have no clue what it's going to cost them. They have no clue they're paying taxes. They've just been told that eBay is a get-rich-quick scheme and that they're going to make a fortune selling their mama's underwear on eBay.
Whatnot makes you on board, and they give you a lot of this stuff up front and tell you.
That's a joke, by the way.
I understand.
Onboarding was a joke.
It was easy, simple, but you know what? It's something. It's a level of something that eBay could also.
So I sat there and watched people ask those same stupid questions. And every time they would undo their mic, all you would hear is this. So I believe your question was. I mean,
it's funnier when they ask the questions live. It's a train wreck, but at least they're getting their questions addressed, in a thing like that. Now I understand why eBay can't do that. eBay's way too big for it, but it would have been nice to make them watch a video or something. Okay, you got to pay taxes. Your cost of goods comes out of your sale. Here's how you formulate. Here's how you take that formula and.
But it's mind-numbingly frustrating to who are these people listening to? They obviously are they're smart enough to find a Facebook group. They're smart enough to use a computer to sign up for eBay. They can do a lot of these things. So where how do you reach these people to get them to understand Amazon? You got to give Amazon credit. We bash Amazon for a lot of the stuff they do, but if you want to know anything about Amazon and how to do something, they've got a channel on YouTube which their videos break things down to a level where if you go to YouTube and watch their produced videos, it pretty much answers the question, or say they're going to teach you about their ads. You can watch 5 or 6 or 7 videos on how to use their ads and how to be effective and how to run them automatic or manual. They do a very good job teaching that stuff. But eBay they've got eBay for Business. And if you get pissed off at them and hashtag them on Twitter, you get some answers. Other than that, that is their entire outreach to the public.
eBay used to be better at it. You know, I don't know what happened over the years.
I don't know, Ron. Some people's mama's underwear can be used as a parachute. Yeah. Who is Sally's mom and why does she have it going on? That's probably a good question, Tim. I don't know what percentage of people are business people versus people just, hey, I've got a few, because you would think you could sort out by feedback and that kind of stuff and the amount of items they sell. But then you look at these people who are complaining about their sales. It's hard to know because they complain about, I've got 3,000 items. I don't know why I'm not selling anything. There's something wrong. I'm sorry. Unless you're a postcard seller, unless you're somebody the size of John that has, stupid amounts of inventory, you shouldn't have 3,000 listings.
That's why you don't ever get into those listing challenges that people do, because that's not the point of the selling on eBay. The point of selling on eBay is selling stuff people want to buy. So you can have 100 listings and be very successful, or you can have 3,000 listings and be not successful. It doesn't matter. The number means nothing. Now, volume is good. It's not going to make you lose, but.
So Jacob is headed to eviction court this morning. I told you to pay your rent, boy. What's wrong with you? I'm not coming to help you move into a hotel. You're just going to have a rough morning in eviction court. You like Dave's theory on these subjects?
Yeah.
Dave just takes another hit on the bong to try to figure out what's going on.
Try and stay up. Yep.
Be curious. I'm just messing with Jacob, folks. Scan of Freedom is not actually being taken to eviction court. He's a slumlord.
he's the evictor.
He's the evictor. Yeah. So I guess that means, tell me if I'm wrong, Jacob, but that means once you get the court order, it'll be 10 days.
I think they could fight it forever.
No, it's different states are different. I think she's had a lot of. I think in 10 days from this court order, I think the sheriff's department comes and gives you an hour to get everything out.
I know somebody who's going through the process right now. The evictee, not the evictor, and they in Ohio they can give you a 3-day notice. If you ignore that 3-day notice, then they have to go to the eviction courts, and then you get a 30-day notice. But you can fight the 30-day notice. He's
already been through all those. So Jacob is a property manager. Jacob's got about 10 jobs. I've talked about him a lot. He is an ambitious young man. He is a serial entrepreneur. It wasn't good enough for him to, purchase his own properties and be his own, now that I'm doing this, I'm going to get these skills. I'm going to manage other people's properties. So this is other people's properties he manages. So
when Jacob figures out his income at the end of the year, does he take out the cost of buying the house originally?
I don't know.
The cost of goods. He bought a new house this year. That doesn't count because it's
no. The more important thing at Jacob is in order to get you up and going and functioning this early in the morning, do you subtract the cost of all that damn Starbucks you drink? Because he doesn't. So he used to work at Starbucks for a while because he wanted the discount. So he worked a few hours a week. Jake, I've been on the phone with Jacob when he's ordering the craziness that his coffee drinks. They're like $10 and $12 for one drink.
Oh, hell no.
A couple extra shots of espresso.
Oh, yeah, he definitely. I think he gets 3.
Well, it comes with one. So.
I would not make it as a serial entrepreneur because I ate my Frosted Flakes this morning. All this coffee is free. I'm still interested to hear, Jacob, how you're going to write your China trip off. Real talk is they changed the golden grams and now they taste like cardboard.
Ugh.
The one thing I can tell you is you're probably eating insects or it is real cardboard. Because you're going to own nothing and you're going to eat bugs and you're going to be happy. I meant to say that in my best, German, these people look up to all the people we're dealing with, idolize these celebrities. Who was it Melissa Milano a couple weeks ago decided she was so mad at Elon for taking Twitter and letting these people back on Twitter and making it just a cesspool again that she sold her Tesla and went and got a real electric car by a good company. She went and bought a Volkswagen. I mean, you want to talk about real white supremacists and murdering 45 million people? You just bought a car that was a company that was founded by Hitler. Come on. And the Nazi Socialist Party in Germany. Congratulations. You have got to be the biggest dumb fuck of the year.
It doesn't matter to them. That's not the point.
It's just.
I'm trying not to make any comments because it gets political and
It's. I mean, that's not them anymore, but that's how they started.
Yeah, absolutely. I love my Volkswagen. I didn't buy it because of Hitler. That's for sure.
I want a bus. My favorite vehicle in this world is a Volkswagen van, 21 window van.
Good luck. If I ever own an electric car, it's going to be one of those ID buzzes that come out with. I love the look of those things. Yeah, I love the look of the. They're over in Europe right now. The new electric new buses. That thing's pretty sweet. Because there is I don't know what nationality this fella is. He is I think he's Japanese. But he has a YouTube channel based out of the UK, and I called him a couple of days ago where he wanted to know what happened. He had the Volkswagen van. He wanted to know what happened when he completely ran it out of electricity. And so he's out in the country in the middle of nowhere. So he took two of the big solar power generators with him. I think they were several thousand watt hours each. So he carried a bunch of power that he was going to connect in series back to the vehicle to get him to a charging station. So he was trying to run out of electricity. He misestimated where it was, and it took him farther than he thought it would. He ended up like at the bottom of a hill 4 miles from a charge station, and it took maybe 6 or 7 hours for those things to charge it out of the lowest period where it was shut down, because it had to go to a certain percentage, like 5 or 6%, before it would clear the bottom. Because your lithium battery, the worst thing you can do is drain it dead. That's the worst thing. Interesting channel. The guy's he's got a funny sense of humor, and it was very, very nice to see that as he was stuck on a country road. The English country roads are small. Have you ever never been to England? I want to go one day, but their roads, if you ever watch anything over there, are much smaller than ours. And so he's pulled over like in a driveway for a farm, and he's there for hours. And I would bet if there wasn't any traffic and it was just one car coming by, I would bet 70% of the cars stopped and asked him if he needed something. It was very refreshing that so many people stopped to offer help to a stranger who was broke down. It was absolutely that kind of refreshing, kind of gives you a little confidence that we're not all going straight to hell that fast. But it was that van was cool. All the stuff it would do, and looking like an old Volkswagen van. Your buddies over at VW Life did a really good show, by the way, on the ID Buzz. They got a chance to drive one.
Yeah, I've gotten one of those in the back of the back of.
You gave me that.
Yeah,
those guys did a good video on the ID Buzz. So check that out. You said one of the guys is a reseller, right? I'm guessing the younger dude.
Old people can't resell.
No, but out of those guys, I would guess it would be the younger guy.
I'm sorry, Miss Sue. Steve just said you can't resell.
I did not say any such thing.
No, Steve.
Are we going back to that format?
Yeah,
Everything is Steve's fault.
it's the best one.
I retired from that other show. I'm not doing it anymore.
So you can come back on. We don't even discuss politics anymore.
Yeah, I'm done with it.
This is the nicer, kinder reseller report.
We kind of skirt the edge of it, but we never actually go into it.
It has to
Never
have
dive.
it has to have an effect on reselling in order. That's why I talked about eBay lobbying Congress. I don't like 99% of the idiots in Congress, and I guess eBay just fit right in with them. But if it's something to do with politics, with reselling, I'll talk about it. But other than that, I have a lot more free time to look at other things now that I'm not following politics anymore. I've been much happier not being mad all the time. Well, I still get mad at other stupidity. I can save my anger up for something really good, like if I have to add my costs in, I'll lose money. Good. That's good.
Maybe we should do a video series, Scott, on an actual video series. I know you did eBay for beginners, but you didn't go back far enough, apparently. I mean, you need to go back to here's how you hold a pencil far. You need to go back to kindergarten.
So we actually had that conversation last night at dinner. Last night was Wings Night. Anybody in Huntsville area is more than welcome to join us on Wings Night at 5:00. Drink a beer with me and Tracy. Harlan's giving up sugar again. I need to. So immediately after Christmas, I'm going back on keto nonstop. But that's what we thought of, because I've thought about I've taught eBay and I've taught these things, and Harlan's just shaking his head saying I don't think you started far enough back. And he's 100% correct.
Seriously.
Because we have been doing this so long, we assume that people understand basic elementary concepts. And yeah, Mark, Scotty Kilmer hates VWs.
No, Scotty Kilmer, but
whatever.
Yeah.
And so when I was shipping on Monday, I had 73 to ship Monday. I was watching your buddy.
My buddy?
Yeah.
Which one?
Mr. Bigfoot, his director's commentary on his Bigfoot.
Wasn't that a hilarious video?
No, this was Les.
Oh, Les Stroud?
Anyone you didn't like either?
Yeah, Les Stroud's a douche, but whatever. Depending on who my buddy you're talking about is. I thought you were talking about Fair Breakdown. He did a video this week, and it was just he hasn't done a video in a while, but it was hilarious. Just his commentary is always funny. So check out Fair Breakdown on YouTube if you haven't seen him. It's funny.
So I've seen all of Les's, Survivor Man Bigfoot, but I was watching the commentary one where he was talking about explaining. So it makes it like twice as long as the thing, because he's telling you what happened and what he remembers. And the one thing he goes, I might actually have Bigfoot evidence and we don't know it. And you look at him, you're like, now, if you had Bigfoot evidence, why would you not? Because one of the things, he had gone up on the mountain and he had put these apples and power bars on the tree and set a camera. The first night the camera fell over. Second night he was by himself. The camera barely shows something, but it's imagine the apple's there, the apple's gone. But he left he buried an audio recorder in the ground to record audio separate from the thing. And he's like, that audio recorder is still up there. I forgot to get it.
The problem with Bigfoot evidence is it's really usually not evidence.
Yeah.
It's usually speculation. And there was a video that came out of North Carolina yesterday, I want to say. Littleton, North Carolina. Look up Littleton, North Carolina Bigfoot. And this guy says and this video was taken 20 minutes after his sighting, alleged sighting. Dude was shaken up, man. So those are the kind of videos I like because it's real close to the event. They're interviewing this guy, and he saw something that he believed was a Bigfoot. You know, those are the kind of videos that are good.
But that's the problem, though, is when you go in the woods looking for something, that's what your mind sees. Everything becomes.
This guy didn't. This guy just happened to see it in his backyard. So,
but you know what I mean? You know, because Les went up there with this guy named Todd something, and
Todd Standing, I won't go into it.
That dude's nuts. Anyway, but every sound, everything, you know, he go, that's a Bigfoot throwing rocks at us because he heard. And Les is like, that could have been an acorn or a pine cone. That could have been, you know, if you're looking for something, your mind will tell you that's what it is. When all rationality is out, when it could have been just a simple explanation.
Well, see, Bigfoot people and eBay beginners, some, not all, don't get me wrong. In every category of people, you got the same kind of people. So the guy who asked the question about, wait, my cost comes out, is the same as a lot of these Bigfoot people who everything is a Bigfoot. It's the same mentality. It's weird. But like you said, you can go in the woods. If it's in the woods, it's Bigfoot. If it's in a house, it's a ghost. If it's in the sky, it's a UFO. It's just the way it could be the same exact thing in all three instances. But because of where you're at, the circumstances change in your mind.
Yep.
So a lot of that's how that works.
See, that's the lag. I'm not reading that stuff every day. I'm not looking at that stuff every day. That stuff is farther from my mind. Your little comments cannot pull me into any kind of rants. Mentally strong. But it's given me a lot more time to read the fun comments in these groups. It's the stuff that the stuff that we think is simple, and you know, you shouldn't have to explain. You know, there's a reason why I tell people, you know, well, what's a good way to determine whether you make money? Sell it for 3 times what you pay for it. That's generally a rule. On Amazon, the fees have gone up a little bit, so it might need to be adjusted to 3.5 times. But if you buy an item and you sell it for 3 times what you paid for it, most of the time, you know, you're gonna 75% or more profit on that item before taxes. And so that's why I've always said, you know, 3 times your money. That's the easy way to do it. If you buy it for 3, you got to sell it for 9. Even though I try not to sell anything for less than 20 on eBay. On Amazon, you know, it's a different story. You put it in small and light. If you've got 100 of them, you do all right. But hey, good morning, Felix.
There are obviously exemptions to that rule. If I'm buying something for $1, I can't sell it on eBay for $3 and make money.
That's correct.
But you can sell it on eBay. So my minimum is generally, if I buy it for $1, I probably want to make $10, or I want to sell it for 10. It just makes sense.
Yeah, so you got to have minimum numbers, and that's a, you know, that's the caveat you have to tell. You know, 3 times your money, but you've got to have a minimum just so that. Like,
but you got to add your shipping cost comes out of that. God forbid you tell somebody.
Yeah. Oh,
so if you're buying something, say at Dollar Tree, to try to make a profit on, you got to sell it for at least 10, because you got shipping in there, you've got eBay fees in there, you've got taxes in there.
Well, it depends on what category.
And the cost of goods in there.
It depends on what category it is. If it fits in small and light, and you know, you can sell
on Amazon, yes.
You can sell it for 7 or 8 on Amazon with small and light. And
you're not making much. It's a volume game then.
That's a volume game. I would tell you not to do that. You know, if you can find 50 of them, you're doing okay. If you can find 2, you know, you need to walk away and find something else. There's more stuff out there.
With when we were selling the DVDs from, and I'm going to give it away, Dollar Tree. Everybody else is selling them too, but you had to find 50 of them just to make any money on them. I don't buy them anymore because there's such competition and such low profit. Even a good ranked DVD that you're buying at a place like Dollar Tree, you're not going to sell as quickly as a good ranked DVD that you're buying from a yard.
But for retail arbitrage, the 3 times works. eBay is a different animal, because of the listing is a little harder, and because I've got a store, and you're taking the FBA out of the equation. I generally, it's got to be 5 times my money for me to deal with it. And as I move, I'm clearing stuff out now, but as the new stuff that I buy, I've got a $20-$25 profit minimum on eBay that I'm buying. If it doesn't make that much, I send it to auction because I'll still buy it because there's money in it. But the thing you learn is your time is valuable, and so people don't account for your time. God forbid, Mr. This Cost Matter actually had to account for how much he pays himself an hour. If you introduce that concept into him, you can see his head go.
You can teach a guy like that though.
Oh, absolutely.
Maybe not that particular person. I don't know. But when people come in so raw that they have no idea, you can teach that person. They're actually probably more teachable than anybody else. People who already have their ideas of how things work.
But for somebody that raw, I don't know there's anybody out there that teaches it from that mind-numbingly basic.
Sounds like a plan.
Stay tuned. But anyway, I don't, because that's the one thing. If you're teaching, it's a problem I've had in in-person classes is where do you start, and then what assumptions do you make? Because if you make certain assumptions, you leave people behind, or you've got one or two things. You either bore people or you've got people that get left behind. There's very rarely you hit at the right spot. So
what I miss?
no, Davis, that's perfect. That's a perfect example. He's got a great replenishable, cost him $1. He sells 20 to 30 a week at $10.
You miss the secret of life.
I know, right?
Oh yeah, that's you can't. Can you make a living on that one product? No. If you had 100 of them, you're doing pretty good. It's use the power of Amazon to let them do that and stay under $10 because the new small and light is $10 or less. Make even more money and let them do the work for you.
Yes, those are records, and maybe at some point I'll sell them again.
Do you sell records? That's I was going to laugh right there.
Considering that every time Dave's been on that show, that shelf hasn't changed a bit.
Dave has boxes to put the records in.
There's a bunch of weed stashed in between them.
That's so it's his storage space.
Yeah, people. You should see get the looks I get wearing the Steezy hat. They look at it like, "What is that?"
It's weed.
There it is. Steezy.
Or it comes in this form. I should sell records, right? I have a bunch of them.
Well, you got a lot of other shit going on, though. It's not like you got.
No, I actually did buy some boxes to try and get rid of some of the 33s because I have thousands, and at some point they have to go away, I guess.
So I got a lot of records myself. We have, I don't know how many, not thousands, but maybe I bet you we're approaching 500 or 600.
There's a comment in the chat for you.
They're all country, so they're not worth it.
There's a comment in the chat for you.
Who's that guy? Scott C.
I don't know, some rando. Dave, are those patches? No, they're not. Oh, on the desk? Are they stickers on the desk, Dave? I can't remember.
Yeah, a bunch of stickers.
They're stickers. Probably from Dave's rock and roll past.
Could be. It's possible.
He would tell you about his rock and roll past, but he didn't remember a lot of it.
Yeah. My friends call me burnout, but I can't remember why.
Dave, what is your favorite band?
Pink Floyd.
Dave, are you in a band? Yes,
No.
he is in the Reseller band.
Is this AMA? Dave's AMA right now?
Yeah, Dave's AMA.
Lag's pretty interested.
All right, Lag, what is your
Hey, Lag, we'll give you Dave's phone number. You can give him a call.
Jeez.
Lag, what is your favorite band?
Right?
So
No, I manage bands. I don't play.
So one of our members in the chat sent me a text instead of putting it out there. I did see that. So I meant to mention that eBay has made a positive change. Let's not bashing.
What?
You can see 2 years of your order history now.
You can see 2 years of your order history or sales history?
I don't know.
Sales history, right?
I saw the little blurb saying, "Hey, you can do this."
I went in yesterday to look, and I couldn't see. I could only see 90 days. So.
New, increase your access to order history. You can now view orders for the past 2 years versus the past 90 days, giving you access to additional data to complete important tasks. They're saying that like it's some mind-blowing revolutionary. We work on years and at a time for taxes, yet you only showed us 90 days. It's been your stupidity that we've had to deal with for the last since y'all started, you bunch of idiots.
But it looks to me like that's only orders, not.
It's order.
Go back in your.
It's order history.
So something I bought, not something I sold.
No, it's sold. If you look under orders, I'll manage all orders.
Well, let me go find it.
I'm looking right now.
The way I interpreted it must have been wrong.
So
all right, orders.
See, mine says that, but then it only shows me to September 14th.
Yeah, mine only went back 90 days yesterday when I looked.
So
you can go period, and mine says you got a custom field. Maybe you could do that.
Okay, so I'm gonna go to this year. Let's see what happens. Frankie, are you back?
I don't even have that. I have today, yesterday, this week, last week, this month, last month. That's all I get.
Mine has the thing for this year. So let's see. Scanning. Oh,
I have a custom.
Once I change it to this year, yeah, I can see everything I've sold this year. So on June 17th, I sold a genuine Hitachi 18-volt lithium-ion battery and charger.
Mine only goes back till September still. So it must be something they're rolling out. They not everybody has.
Yeah, I was able to get it to go way back.
Yep.
So I have today, yesterday, this week, last week, this month, last month, and custom and last 90 days. But when I go to custom, it only goes 90 days.
So on January 24th, I sold a Pokemon Emerald version for the Game Boy Advance.
Must have
For
been
120. Hey, Frankie, come here. Frankie.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing.
No, that's a huge change because I've had things come up where I've sold them and I swear they've already sold, and I can't find them in my inventory anywhere. So now I can go back and look to find them because it's been less than a year, but more than 90 days.
In case y'all missed Frankie, here he is. Anybody who's tuned in late, here's Frankie. Frankie, say hello to Miss Joni is there. Tell Miss Joni hello. Miss Joni, I went to the doctor. They shot me twice. They assaulted my anus. They cut my toenails.
Is anybody else not seeing past a year?
They told Mama to take away my third meal.
I can see.
And I weigh 6.5 pounds.
Past 90 days, I meant. Yeah, I don't. I only see 90 days.
I love his feet. His feet are the best. He's got the cutest feet.
Unless I'm in the wrong spot, but I don't think so.
You ready to go back and see what everybody else is doing?
I just went to orders and then all orders.
Frankie, Everybody hit the like button because I'm so cute. Pound the like button for a pound puppy. No biting. Did I tell the story of Franklin biting me last week?
Oh,
I don't remember that story, so go ahead. I
So
wasn't
I'm
here.
sitting on the couch, and I'd gotten up in the morning, and I'd still on a pair of pajama shorts, and I'm sitting under a blanket because it's kind of chilly in the house. The blanket has sort of slid down when Franklin was going across the recliner from one to the other, and it comes by, and he takes a big bite out of my nipple. Holy shit! Holy crap! Yeah. So what if a mean lady stole your thermal printer and regular printer? How do you print labels? On eBay, that's pretty simple. You can get a barcode and take it to the post office, and the post office will actually print the label for you.
How do you get a mean lady stealing? I don't want to get into your personal life there, bud, but it's just there's only a couple of ways I can think that happens, and they're not good. I mean, they have to get into your house, so maybe you're divorcing or something. That's the only thing I can think of.
Hey, that's a box. Don't eat the box.
Look, I'm shaking.
So I lost eBay box yesterday out of my big stack of stuff because Franklin decided he was going to sit there for 30 minutes and chew on the corner of a box. Mr. Sadie, you need to hit the arrow down because it defaults to 90 days and then change it to this year, last year, custom.
It's not, but some of us don't have it, and I'm guessing he doesn't have it either.
Oh my God! What do you mean Connie's back? Lord have mercy.
Where?
I don't see Connie.
I didn't see Connie either.
yeah, I don't either.
I thought Connie was finally getting satisfied, so she didn't have to come bother us anymore. Jerry, that has been a problem for a long time, for years, that items that have sold have gotten mysteriously relisted.
I just went through a bunch of stuff and found a lot of mysteriously unlisted stuff too. So it happens both ways. But the mysteriously relisted, if I can go back 2 years and look now, at least I can prove to eBay, hey, look, it already sold. And maybe I can get some resolution there. Because I've had it happen at least 3 times this year.
Sue is Connie.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Look up. I'm telling you, Connie does not show up in the
It's
the
not,
chat.
not on StreamYard.
Yeah, I didn't see it either.
Well, we gotta
I'll go look again.
Now, so that's weird. Connie does not show up in the StreamYard chat, but Connie shows up in the YouTube chat.
StreamYard filters are.
I gotta load it. Let's see here.
I'm not going to look. I'll take your word for it.
All right, yeah. So, anybody have any questions that any topics y'all want to talk about? At least that is I would say for eBay, that's a step forward to give us access to data for a year, because that was the whole thing that Reseller Genie, that would help them out tremendously, be able to pull for a year. Because what was the whole thing with the what was the spreadsheet? What was the one? What's the spreadsheet you use, Dave? Why can I never remember that?
Oh,
The auction tracker, because you had to do it every quarter because you can only go back 90 days. And then
that's what
once 90
screwed me
days
up.
passed, you were screwed.
yeah.
Because I accidentally deleted everything. I couldn't go back when I had Easy Auction Tracker. I couldn't go back and get it from eBay again. But if they go back 2 years now, that makes a world of difference for a lot of reasons. But that's one good one right there. Is
Why are you
that
biting cardboard?
a program like that can go back farther.
Why are you biting
We
cardboard?
don't really need anything now.
Yeah, it's a little too late for Easy Auction Tracker, but for Reseller Genie or one
Yes,
of the other,
if,
there's other
if, you,
programs out
if you've been hiding under a brick somewhere, Easy Auction Tracker has decided to call it quits. If you want to try Reseller Genie, my Reseller Genie, there's a discount link in the description below. Make sure you use all caps. We had them on. Look back a couple weeks ago. They talked to they a lot of information about what their program will do. Purposes. Tommy boy, I hate to tell you, go blue, that y'all are going to get. Y'all are just part of the process. What did they do? They essentially assured Georgia they would be back-to-back champions. If you want to hear my 2 cents, I realize Alabama had 2 losses, and they celebrated the fact that TCU only had 1 loss, and it was in overtime by 3 points to the number whatever team in their league. So their league is 3rd or 4th out of the 5 leagues. This team, they were 12-1. 9 of their victories were by under or 9 points or less. You think, well, that's okay, 9 points or less. Of those 9 games that they won by 9 points or less, they played 7 backup quarterbacks. So you're telling me that this team is so deserving to be in the college football championship because they didn't win their league, they lost their championship game, and they had 7 wins by single digits against another team's backup quarterback, and that makes them great. Alabama has 2 losses on the last play of games by a total of 4 points with an injured quarterback. And if you look at history, Alabama's road games, at the time we played the 5 road games, every team was ranked. That has not happened. I can't find it in history, and I know people have looked for it. At the time playing the game, all 5 of our road games that we played the number, but depends on how you look at the number 1 or number 2 schedule, hardest schedule in the nation. There you go.
If there was a ching, it wasn't me.
Yeah, it was mine. Let's see what we.
I did sell Deer of the Southwest paperback by Jim Hefflinger, autographed for $54.95.
So I sold a Fitbit charge too. It has 2 wristbands. I got $32.88 for it. I paid $5 at a yard sale. It was plus shipping. So
I sold an Etsy order while we were here too. So 1.
It's amazing when you start listing it on eBay. These people can say what they want. If you list on eBay and you list items, and I told Jacob, when he started listing the first time, all he's listed, I like, man, pick the highest price, throw it at the highest price, we'll let it ride. And now I've told him, take the highest price and take 10% off. So if the cartridges was a good example. The Mario Kart that sold for $28.88, I think most of them were selling about $34. And so we've got a little bit of shipping on there, reasonable shipping, $4.95. And, so if I'm 10% below what the total sales were, I figure, that's another thing. Your eBay sales are slow. Are you using the discounts? Are you promoting your listings? Are you changing them every day? Are you at least looking at them weekly? Are your prices competitive? When's the last time you checked your prices on an item that you listed a year ago? Why is it still there after a year? Is it a pair of Levi's that you're competing against 660,000 pairs? Or is it something that, the price has gone down a little bit on? And if you were competitive, you would sell it today.
Bob T, yes, I am still using my laser.
So, and are you promoting? Are you, if you've got more than one of an item, are you using the volume discounts? Buy 2, get 10, save 10%. Buy 3, save 20. Realizing that this really doesn't cost. I understand if you can't subtract out the sales to get your profit, you won't understand that most items, I've got items that if I ship 2 or ship 3, the price is the same for shipping. And so if you give a 20% discount, you're not really losing. You're winning.
You guys aren't. Did I freeze?
Yeah, you froze. There you go.
If you guys aren't using promoted listings, I have 5 items that shipped this morning. 4 of them went through promoted. I promoted 3%, but I did whatever you guys do. But promoted listings works.
So Avalon Dreaming, I do not mess with that, but I wish his videos were still up. Dusty's account, the YouTube show account, is no longer around, but Alabama Pickers. But he and Eric and Jason, did a lot of research and studying. And if you restart your promoted listings, when you restart it, you almost get like a bump in. It's almost like a newly listed bump, and so it also gives you a chance to reevaluate. You can, because if you're listed at the average and not a little above the average is going to move. And so a couple of days later, the average promotion might be, instead of 4.5, it'd be 5, and so you're not going to be at the top of the list. So he was a very big proponent of restarting. He did it every day, sometimes twice a day, and did very, very well.
Yeah,
I'm on the opposite end, and I do well with my promoted too. So do what works best for you.
Damn, Franklin almost destroyed some eBay inventory.
Frank,
I look over there, and this thing is floating out the office.
that ain't eBay inventory. That's a chew toy.
Can you blame him?
That's a rabbit. Don't.
You can't blame him. That looks like a toy for him.
Yeah. See. You keep eating the box, Franklin.
I'm horrible about doing promotions. I should do more. eBay gives you a whole marketing suite where you can do a whole lots of different things like run sales and stuff like that. And I just don't. Something I never have done. But it's something that I know a lot of people do. I watch that old school picker. He does a lot of sales.
Yeah.
He gets a lot of sales from it. So maybe I should, do a 10% off sale or some crap like that.
Yeah,
Not hard to do.
That was the next victim. What the hell? If you know,
I don't know. When you got puppies in the house,
you can't have him.
that sticker looked really familiar. I'm trying to remember where it's from.
And you can't have him either. Does it still work? Nope. Battery's dead. So why do they do this? You make something with a battery inside of it, and the battery dies, and you can't change it.
Here's the thing: you have a wife that knows how to resew those things. My wife, we have done that because they're usually a really easily changeable battery, like those big round 2032s, I think they have 2032s, big round watch battery type thing. They're really not that hard to change. You can get in there.
Woo-hoo.
You know how to resew that thing to make it look new. I had a Grinch that had that happen, and I opened it up, changed the battery. My wife resewed it, and I sold it for.
He doesn't need any toys. So Johnny has had since Phoebe was a puppy. BarkBox makes one for puppies. So every month they get new toys, and there is 2 buckets in there that are slam jam packed full of toys.
Maybe you need to bring a bucket into your office there so that it stays away from them.
Do you need some toys? Are you toy poor? Well, are you toy poor? No. It's because people turn them on in stores. I can't stand people that will do that. Will go into a store.
I can't either. I went to the store one time with this guy, and he hit every single button.
Yeah.
All of them.
I think I know that guy.
What a bastard. That's what I tell you. What a
embarrassing. And then he goes up to the counter and tells the lady he's got, I don't know how many children he told her he had.
12.
12 children, yeah. Because he was buying all these toys.
And that was the one she looked at him and go, I said, that's not even the worst part. It's the 9 baby mamas that is just the bad part. And that woman looked at me, like she had seen a ghost. Isn't that right, Frank?
Surprising in my area, though.
I fit right in Conneaut.
Well, that was Ashtabula you were at. But whatever. Yeah, Ashtabula, you fit right in. With that story, you would.
Get him. You see anybody up there?
Pontiac, you'd probably fit into. A lot of things going on here.
Yeah, I might have done that in my last Walgreens video. Twice. And there'll be a manager or somebody walking by, and I'll ask them, I'm like, won't you be so glad when these things aren't in here anymore? If you only knew. If you only knew.
I gotta ask you, Scott. Were you on the show last week, Dave? I didn't see it.
He was not.
Okay. What the hell did you say about me that got people concerned that something was wrong with me?
I don't have any.
I had phone calls, man.
Huh?
I don't know. What
I
did
got
I
a phone call asking me if I was all right.
What did I say? I don't know what I said. I can't remember from.
When I missed my other,
You can't expect me to remember today what I said last Wednesday.
When I would miss my other show, Scott and Matt would make up always some weird, elaborate story. It usually wasn't very flattering to me. So I thought maybe you had done the same.
No.
There's Connie.
Yeah, now Connie shows up. We'll let everybody see.
Connie would fit right in here. Probably is from here.
You tell everybody you're not like Phoebe. You like everybody. You're a sweetheart where Phoebe's a grouch. But this one, oh my God, does he love him some Phoebe though? God, she don't go 2 feet that he's not following behind her.
That's awesome.
She just sleeps too much. I've got way too much energy. She sleeps too much. Now what are you gonna do? Yeah, he was. Johnny come outside yesterday. She's like, "Have you seen Franklin?" I'm like, "No, I hadn't seen Franklin." He's sitting out there with me, and she goes, "Why is he out here with you?" I'm like, "Cause I'm awesome." She goes, "No, really, why is he out here with you?" And she looks over there and she goes, "Have you been giving him Christmas cookies?" Do you like Christmas cookies, Franklin? In the green bag, they're awesome. I like the green bag of Christmas cookies. All right, so y'all, what time is it? Why does this show feel like it's dragging? Oh, it's already 9:30.
It does feel like it's dragging. I was going to say.
Yeah. I'm like, did I not pick enough to talk about? What the hell? I didn't look at the Amazon news. I almost always look at Amazon news. Is there any Amazon news we should talk about?
I didn't look either.
They changed the layout again. Oh, there is one thing that I did notice. When you go to the pull down menu in Amazon, and I'm probably late to the game here, so you guys probably already figured this out. But when you go to say add products, there's a little funny shape next to it. It's a bookmark. You can make a bookmark.
Oh yeah, that's been there for a while now.
Yeah, I didn't notice it until just now, and man, does that change things? Because now I can add products, and I don't have to go through the pull down menu, and or I can have my manage inventory or my manage orders all just right up there at the top of the page, and it makes it so much nicer.
All right, so there's news changes on compliance for tires. December 5th, growth opportunities for FBA small and light recommendations. So there you have it. You can read about Amazon top 50 opportunities in small and light. So we talked about small and light this morning. It is if
you're not in it, you should at least look into it if you sell in volume.
It is if you have access to smaller products, really it halves your fees for the most part, and so it makes products that you would not be able to sell. So if you've been an Amazon seller and look at something and go, how can they make any money at $7? It's in small and light, and their fees are half, and that's the secret, folks. I don't talk about it much because we've taken advantage of it, but I don't use it much anymore. I
do for a lot of DVDs still. But
yeah,
DVDs, you must use it if you're under $10.
Because DVDs have an extra media fee of about $1 per disc on sales. And so in order to combat that, if you put the DVDs $9.99 or less in small and light, It allows you to, I think the break even is about 14 or 15. It lowers it to where to about $6 is where the break even is on a Dollar Tree DVD if you pay $1.25. So,
and that's just DVDs. But if you have any product that's at $9.99 or less, enroll that thing in a small and light because you're going to save yourself, make yourself more money. And we don't talk about it a lot, but the reason is because we've taken advantage of that program quite a bit.
I don't understand the question. Can you sell on Amazon without buying a store? What kind of store are you buying?
I think they mean like having a pro subscription or individual seller.
Yeah,
either way, the answer is yes. You don't have to buy a store to get on Amazon. I don't know what store you're referring to.
Andy, it is an opt-in. You have to opt in per item. And so it adds a little bit of work. There are some reports where you can bulk add into it.
It's under growth, and then I think more programs.
Hey, you're not a goat.
It's been a while. And under fulfillment, and then small and light. So growth, explore programs, fulfillment, explore small and light, and then it'll walk you through what you got to do.
You're eating them up. Stop eating them.
But if you got low cost, low priced items, get them in small and light. If you're what's the cutoff for above $10 to make it worth your effort to make it $10? Remember, Dave, we talked about that before. You're in the 11 or $12.
Yeah, so that's
make it $10.
And so it used to be 1080. I think it's closer to
1080. Yeah.
So that's another secret to make yourself competitive on Amazon in small light. So if you have it, let's go with DVD. So if you have a DVD and you put it in small and light, the most you can charge is $9.99. But since your fees are better, you have to sell it for 10. I think it was 80 cents when it was $8, so it's probably close to $11. So in order to make the same money, if you sell the DVD at $11 or enroll it in small and light and sell it at $9.99, it's the same. You make the same money based on the fee reduction. So I don't know what we're looking at with Steve. I don't know if we want to know, but so it really. So how do you sell more DVDs? Do I match the $11 price, or do I put mine at $9.99 and roll it in small and light, and make the price more attractive to the customer, knowing that I make the same amount of money? I mean, Amazon is a much more complicated game, and it's something it takes that kind of thinking to logically process how you price on Amazon based on the idea. Tactical Z, I buy all my small boxes from Supply Hut. Okay, so this is a weird one with Supply Hut. I've talked about Supply Hut for years. I like their boxes. They use the ECT 24s versus the 32s, which means the boxes are lighter weight. So I bought 3 sizes of boxes. I bought 10 by 8 by 6, 10 by 8 by 4, and 8/6/4s. So they post them as shipped, and they combine shipping. All 3 of them had the same tracking number. So no big deal. So the first 2 get here in the same box, and they tracked and showed they were at the house. The third one, with the same tracking number as the first 2, showed it was still in Ohio. I'm like, how do they have the same tracking number, and how does the system know that? It was very confusing. And so the 8/6/4s arrived 3 days later, but they all had the same tracking number, and they were tracked individually, even though they had the same tracking number. Is that strange, or is it just me?
That's strange.
What? Yeah, it's Andy. It's easy to enroll in those, man. All you do is, it's under. They moved it around. What's it under now? Hold on. It's under performance. It's not performance. It's under growth. Under growth, if you go to explore programs, small and light use. Okay, so where is small and light? Is it under fulfillment? It's under fulfillment and under recommended programs. Small and light, learn more, and then enroll products. You enroll the SKU, not the ASIN, because it's the eligibility of an item is individual to you as a seller. So that's why it does the SKU and not the ASIN, because if you enroll the DVD, everybody doesn't get that benefit. Only you, for enrolling your product, gets the benefit of small and light, which Amazon is smart about that. They're not going to give everybody small and light just because it's a small and light product. If you don't know about it and you don't enroll it, you just pay extra fees to them, and they collect extra fees for doing the same thing. Todd, it was FedEx. It was not. You are trouble. Now you're eating on my chair. We're not eating on the chair. First you eat the box, and then you take out the rabbit, and then you want Pac-Man, and now you're eating the chair. Ow, fuck, now you're eating me. You are trouble, boy. You are trouble. Trouble. I got you where you can't bite me now. You are trouble. Does anybody want a dog? I'm free to a good home. Free to a good home. Yeah, that's Andy. That's wishful thinking. They are not. You were part. I don't know any easier way to tell you, Andy, but you were paying an ignorance tax. You have been enlightened. Go forth forevermore and save money. I was trying to channel my best Monty Python, search for the Holy Grail of some sort, but damn it, Franklin, stop it. He's eating the paper tape off this box. I should give the dog a dancing line. Yeah, maybe not. Glenn, you'd have to take Joni with the dog, so go ahead with it. There's that. All right, guys. Yeah, so, but small and light is I try to talk about things that are very relevant to your reselling life. We've carried on about eBay today, but there's so much to learn in this game. So here's a good example. I figure out things as I go, and I'll use them, and sometimes I'll miss. Dave is going to overanalyze everything, and so you need somebody that will pull a Harrington, and because there's a group of 5 or 6 of us that talk a lot, and we know each other's strengths. We know what each one of them is good at. If I need to know the absolute detail of something, I'm going to call Dave, because Dave knows it. And Dave has looked at it 100 million times. And it's Andy, it's that easy. And if you've got Inventory Lab, it's really easy.
Yeah.
Or Seller List, either one of them. If you have an inventory program that will give you a list of your SKUs, and you can rank and you can sort them by price and load them in 100 at a time, there you go.
Yeah.
That's how you deal with DVDs, folks. There's your advanced Dave lesson for the day.
I had to do it the other day to figure out what I had that was actually small and light, because I only had a handful of things. But
so this is a great example. I'm sitting here one by one and carrying on, enrolling, and I'm on the phone with Dave. We're both on speakerphone. Dave's like, this sucks. There's got to be a better way. I'm going to figure out a better way. I'm like, I'm going to keep entering them until you figure out the better way. So here I am plugging along one at a time. If you look at my account, which I know most of you know what my account is, I've got thousands of DVDs. I showed you a box last week. And Dave's like, I think I've got it. And figured out how to get a list off of an inventory program with all the things, and then copy paste them to a spreadsheet, after he downloads it and take it from the spreadsheet into Amazon. And all of a sudden we went from me copy pasting one at a time to put them in 100 at a time. It was amazing.
It works.
Where are the other guys? Mark, are we not all you need?
Right?
I'm disappointed, Mark. You're going to be put in timeout because it's just, if I had any feelings, you would have hurt one of them. That's terrible. Dave, what's your email? You can trust lag.
It's something at Gmail.
That dude at gmail.com. Hey dude at gmail.com. Lag, you can always send me an email. My email is in the bottom of every one of these videos. You know the guy that says it's the end soon? Who, John? Is John the end soon guy? So John's wife broke a nail. And so Lori doesn't drive. And so she had made an appointment to get her nail fixed. They have a real big fancy Christmas party to go to tomorrow night. So that was his emergency. Hey, stop it. Damn it, that's an HDMI cable.
Might want to put stuff off the ground.
There's a reason why I close this door every time I walk out of it. Don't eat that box. Go wake up Jacob. Yeah, the box you just looked at. So this is an interesting one. You ever seen a hairdryer like that one? The brand is Double Duck. This is an older one, but they were expensive back in the day. Any of my moderators out there, that person named Harlan's reselling, somebody block him. But this is how old this one is. See the stainless on it too. And it even came. Tell me that's metal too. Tell me that won't burn you. How many times did you get burned on this thing? Come out. Because that's your hair looks really nice. What's that red mark on the side of your head? Shut up. So that's Johnny's awake. Good. Maybe Franklin will go bother her for a change. And that was an estate sale. I don't know what we got it listed for. Let's see. Jacob listed it. Listings. Come on. That's a $50 hairdryer, folks. It was $3 at an estate sale. So Bob T, I have noticed that, and I will definitely deduct it from his pay. and we'll, after the show's over, when we're in a hangout, I will say bad things to him. Just because you pointed it out. That's very truthful. So Mark, estate. So let's talk estate sales. Estate sales are a great opportunity. The one thing, as most people, as yard sales go away in your area, estate sales generally don't go away because, unfortunately, and I hate to be the one to be the bearer of bad news, is just because the weather has turned cold doesn't mean people stop dying. And so there'll be estates that are being processed, and there'll be people that are ready to move stuff, because property gets put on the market, things change. And so that happens year round. So right now in this area, estate sales are going to be my main focus. So you got to have, there's two strategies. I use them both. There are things on first day of estate sales that they miss that you can buy on the first day and make good money. If I think about it next week, I'll put it on my phone. Next week, I will go to an estate sale first day and last day. Last day here is 50% off. And there is a different opportunity last day because now things that are still left that you wouldn't have thought, there's no money in that. But wait a minute, at half off, if I can run it through an auction, run it through eBay or whatever, it will, that presents an opportunity. And so you need to determine which method you want to use. And if I recommend going both days, but it depends on your outlet. I picked up an estate sale, I don't know, a few months ago. I picked up an item for $20 and it sold for on first day, sold for $300 on Amazon. And I have picked up tons of stuff on last day and run to the auction, been great. So Bigfoot was at the door, he had to leave. Well, there you go. Ron, you don't know anything about his daughter's dogs. Those are big dogs. Harley got scratched one of the last times he went over there. I deal with little bitty dogs. Maybe you lose a nipple, but you don't lose anything else. Avalon Dreaming. So you're 100% correct. There are outrageous prices. And so you have to learn the area, like this area here. So there must be 8 different estate sale companies here. And so I know each one and I know what days to go. There is one company that is the absolute greatest for prices. I go get in line there several hours early on their first day, every single sale, because I know that I'm going to spend money there and I'm going to get great stuff at a great price. There are others that are so high, I won't even go first or last day. And there's a couple that, one that's kind of in the middle. So first or second day, I'll hit them. And then there's one that you can make money on last day only. So unless I see something in the picture that I know that is an awesome item, I will only do that on last day. So really learn your market, learn your companies, and, schedule and figure out accordingly. Because we've got one company here that changes their prices based on where the house is in Huntsville. If it's in a really fancy neighborhood, their prices go up. If it's in a normal or lower class neighborhood, they have lower prices. It's strange, but they admit they do it. Mr. said, Larry, that's correct. He said that he used to think more people died in the winter because of estate sales. He just never paid attention to them in the summer. Oh, wow. No deals. That's crazy. And also the estate sales too. If you look at the same places like on Facebook and the apps that for yard sales, you'll see a lot of local estate sales. Those are the ones you dream of, as the family just deciding they didn't want to pay the estate sale company. They'd handle it themselves. And, a lot of times they're really good pricing. So, lag, you're low class. I get that. I would hate to tell you that I'm gonna argue with you on that one, but yeah, I'm not going to. Yeah, Swamp said he got there 4 hours early to get a number to get in line. So the last estate sale that I went and got in line for, I got there a couple hours early, and me and a viewer were Kelly were the first two there, and then about 7 minutes later, here comes straggling up Tracy behind me. So we were the first 3 there, and it was so cold that we all just put bags up there, went and got and make a little line with the bags, and went and got in our car. But yeah, depending on which company it is, I'll definitely get in line. Yeah, Harlan wants to keep his nipples intact. There's probably a story there, but I'm not asking it.
Mhm.
Man, Mark. So the one thing that I missed last, I estate sale a couple of estate sales ago. Kelly brought her husband with her. I'm like, that's weird. Why has she got her husband with her? And they were ahead of me, and I know where she goes, and we don't buy the same stuff. But her husband was ahead of me, and I couldn't pass him because I was like 4 people behind him. I got there a few minutes later than they did, and he grabbed the exact same item I was looking for. She had sent him after the item I was looking for.
That's funny.
So yeah, those are the breaks. So the last estate sale I went to, the camera I sold yesterday came from the last estate sale I went to. We know the ladies that run it; they're the best. They're absolutely the best. And we were about to leave because Tracy and I are old. Tracy's like, I got to go use the bathroom. I'm like, all right, we'll run down to Hardy's. We had our McDonald's. We had our numbers. And Tracy's like, wait a minute, I'm gonna go ask so and so if I can use the restroom. And so they let Tracy in the house to use the bathroom. And Tracy comes out and says, yeah, I saw the room that's got your camera in it. It's here, here, and here. So sometimes you got to be sneaky. All right, now Phoebe's awake. So all my boxes and cables and rabbits are all safe now. I don't know who John Galanio is, so I guess that's good. Fist fights at estate sales. That's crazy. It's just not that important. Although we thought Harlan and I thought one of our friends was so mad. So they have a whole table, and there was a guy who went through and got some of the stuff off the whole table that was his. And man, was he was fighting mad. He was ready to unleash hell on that dude for getting his stuff. Did we make it at 10 o'clock? Oh my gosh, 7 minutes. And I got to go ship.
We lost Steve. I got to do the same thing.
You actually sold stuff from Merchant Field?
Quite a bit.
Holy shit. The head designer for Dior. See, I'm not a fashion person. And that's the beauty of a lot of this stuff is, especially estate sales, there is so much, and there's so much for everybody. You know, y'all know I'm the electronics guy. I'm walking to wherever the electronics are first. It just lag. You don't get any rants. I'm sorry. This is the I don't have anything. This is the problem, lag, and why you're not going to succeed is because I'm not immersed in this stuff day to day. I don't really know the intricate details of what's going on. And so I'm not even mad enough to even rant about it. So, and that's just beautiful. I've learned a lot about college football in my spare time now that I'm not listening to. I've added some sports podcasts, college football podcasts. I can tell you all about the playoff but yeah, nothing about politics. I'm not listening to them. Just you come to a point in your life when you know that there's nothing you can do about it. You know, I don't live in an area where I live in Alabama, for God's sakes. This is the most conservative state in the nation. I mean, we have 78 out of 103 senators in the state that are Republican. It's not. I live in a city that's a progressive city, but it's run by Republicans, so it's really nice. The area, so I don't have anything to be angry about. So, Steve, see, Bob, I know that is not the truth because if there was a Sasquatch on the ground, I'd already be headed to Steve's house.
It's probably a raccoon.
It's probably some kind of green emergency. Marsha is really mad that Steve showed his room not being green. Oh, and it's a John Kennedy. He is one of my favorites. He carries on. There's some rumors that he's going to run for governor of Louisiana in 2024. So yeah, John Kennedy. He's hysterical. Love that guy. So it's really eliminate the things. Eliminate the things that are causing anger in your life, and when it's negatively affecting what you do and your mood. I've talked about this before. I don't deal with refunds on Amazon. You can't do anything about it. Dave has finally adopted my strategy pretty close. If it's an FBA deal, there ain't nothing you can do about it. Rarely are you ever going to get in 2015, you could get reimbursed for everything. Now, nothing. Right. And so those emails go to a different folder. I don't even look at them. There's nothing you can do about it. Absolutely nothing. It's the same thing with politics and the cheating and stuff that goes on. What can I do about it as an individual down south? What can I do about it? Nothing. What effect truly can I have? I can waste time in my life being mad and angry and all that stuff, or I can understand that. Okay, so they say 50 is middle age. You guys realize that's a lie. The average male lives 75, 76 years old. 76 divided by 2 is not 50. I'm well into the second half of my life, and I do not want to spend another minute wasting on that craziness. I'm trying to enrich my life and make myself better by listening to personal podcasts that are uplifting, having conversations with people around me that are better. I get a message. I'm telling you, y'all need a friend like Harlan. He's carried on in the chat messing with me. But he sends me a thing yesterday. It was yesterday or the day before. A video of a guy who he said he interviewed so many of these CEOs of these huge companies. And the one thing he found that they had in common was, how did they stay on track? How did they get things done? They all still used a notebook for a to-do list. They wrote it on a notebook, and as they did stuff, they just crossed it off and added to it, and kept themselves organized that way on basically a constant to-do list. And so, my message to you is, you can't do everything like somebody else does. You need to figure out how to incorporate it in your life that it works for you. And so last night, I spent some time. The iPhone has a nice reminder app. And so I've got 20 things scheduled. Is there any secret? They're all starting from, where's the scheduled ones? So we're starting today. I've been paying for a subscription to Evernote, so I stuck it in there. I need to cancel that today. List 5 things on eBay. Every day that's going to come up. Organize the billing. That's something I want to get done by the end of this week, so it shows up every day until Reseller Report. I can go ahead and cross off Reseller Report because we're doing that now. Make an Amazon listing by 2:00 today. And so it just goes on. What am I doing tomorrow? Sign up for an affiliate program. Edit a Walgreens follow-up video. Trying to make myself more organized and force myself, because I've always got this. The one thing I like about this is, if I put it in this, it's in the computer. It's in the computer outside. So I have access to it most everywhere I go. I've got a tablet that, so I'll have even my second phone that I carry around, because this one doesn't scam with the crap. It has it on it because it's an iPhone as well. And so figure out a way to keep yourself organized. Just watching that video that Harlan sent really, and I've tried to send him, because I've got some things that I'm working on, and I thought, stuff that we talked about. So I sent him some videos. Do things that are more productive for you. How do you want to figure out what you want? I want 23 to look completely different. I want to change the way I do a lot of things. And so how do you do that? you have to change. You have to change in order to change. You can't do the same thing and expect the same results. And so it takes. Sometimes it takes your stepping out of your comfort zone and doing things in order to get results that you're looking for. So that's my speech for you to end the show.
Guess we completely lost Steve.
Oh yeah, we lost Steve. It's terrible. He could have fallen out of the chair and have some kind of senior injury, and we just don't know about it. Wiser is not older. I see how you did that there, Larry. You spelled it like Budweiser. I got you. Larry, that is 100% one of my goals is to absolutely the next 18 months have the house paid off. And so how do I get to that? If I keep doing what I'm doing right now, am I going to get there? Absolutely not. And so, I'm behind the scenes. I had one project I was working on. Now I'm working on two. It's what can I do to, different. How many can if reselling is making me a nice living? Don't get me wrong. We don't want for anything. We have what we want, but I also have a lot of debt for my house. I want this mortgage gone. I want this pressure off of me in case something bad happens in the economy. In case everything goes crazy. I don't want that. I want my house to be secure. So, if all hell does break loose, we if you own your house, as long as you're paying your taxes, you're not going to lose the house. And taxes are pretty cheap here. So how do I eliminate that? I'm trying to find different income streams that will produce money while I continue to resell. There's stuff out there, folks. You can make money doing different things. So Steve, come here. Just in time to say goodbye.
Yeah, look at that.
Sweetwater out.
The short answer to the Tri-State Picker is yes. It'll be different, but there will be another. There'll be more about that in the coming weeks. I'm still working on building it. That's what I'm actually spending all day tomorrow doing. I do not have a basement. The one thing, I think I talked about it somewhere. If you live in the South, the water table in the South is higher than most of the rest of the country. So you don't find a lot of basements in the South due to water leakage. So I've always wanted a house with a full basement. We've never had one.
I have a full basement, but mine, we have a high water table here too. So trust me, it's not all it's cracked up to be.
Flag's got a basement.
That's barely comes out of it from what I understand.
Yeah.
And it's not even his.
I cannot cook, but I have a wonderful wife that, man, can she cook? I'll put you out. You can sleep out in the building, Felix. I don't know where, but because there's not a room. We have 4 bedrooms. We're only using 2 of them, so. Yeah, somebody in the chat actually is coming to spend at least one night here this month. The mystery person in the chat, and no, it's not Connie. Jeez, that was a shocker. Connie must be at work then, because Connie only had like 3 or 4 things to say, and when she was out. So, Steve, I have bad news for you.
Uh-oh.
It's been determined while you're gone that we are going to dock your pay for this episode for your not being fully participatory.
You can't dock my pay. I quit.
Just like that, huh?
Can't fire me.
Well, I'm glad this is not a box company because there's no telling what you would throw in the machine.
Well, I threw a lot of stuff in the baler that should have been in there. But it was fun.
No, Anissa is not busy. And this
We
one
had a
have to
guy
have
that-
her own house. She's got like 10 kids.
We had a guy that worked at the box factory, and the scraps from my machine would pile up at the end of the baler. And one day he used it like a pile of leaves and jumped into it. It was great.
Larry, there's always cold beer here. I currently have Miller Lite and Dos Equis. So if you don't like either one of them, you need to bring some beer with you. I've been told I need to drink Milwaukee's Best Light is very similar to Miller Lite, and I can save money. So I might be switching to Best Light.
It's rough.
I don't know. Am I that cheap, Dave? I don't think I'm that cheap.
No.
I'd be that cheap if I was a beer drinker.
Well, my beer lasts. So the current 16 pack that I have out there, I bought before Thanksgiving. So
Yeah, I never got into drinking that much.
I'm currently on track to buy another one before Christmas. All right, everyone, have a great day, great week. I will put out a video tomorrow. If you watched the Walgreens sourcing video last week, or I guess Friday, I've got everything. I'm showing everything, and as me listing them and how easy it is to list on eBay and Amazon. So I'm showing you the listing process, but I got to put some updates in there as I'm editing it because I've sold half of that stuff. There's not much left. So yeah. All right, everyone, have a great day. Roll Tide.
Sweetwater out.
Take it easy.
Hello and good night.
Yeah.